It was Thursday morning when the message arrived that would change my entire day. Hi, friend, you wonderful person. I miss you so much. It's been so long. We need to meet urgently. I answered immediately. I didn't think twice. Sure, let's meet. How about Saturday at my place? Confirmed. I can't wait to see you. But then came the question that would change everything. How is your schedule today? I remember being that girl in school, always lending my homework, and then not having time to study for the test myself. Since childhood, people always told me I was too helpful, not in a good way. In college, same pattern. Friends called me when they needed something. You're so smart. You're the only one who understands this. You're such a good friend. Too many compliments made me confuse being useful with real friendship. At work, I was the one who stayed late to help colleagues finish their reports. I said yes to every extra project. My boss loved me. My personal life, not so much. I was always tired, always behind on my own deadlines, always wondering why people only called when they needed something. But I told myself, I'm just a helpful person. That's good, right? Back to Thursday. I explained I was preparing to work. Important project with a tight deadline. And that's when she said it. Oh, friend, I'm so desperate. I have an urgent interview tomorrow. I need this job so badly. I need to submit a test they sent me, but I don't know how to do it. You're the only person I know who understands this subject. You're the smartest person I know. I need to submit it today. You're the smartest person I know. You're the only person. How could I resist that? I hesitated for 2 seconds. I sighed. Okay, send me the test. We spent hours trying together, but she couldn't understand it at all. Then her doorbell rang, and she left to answer it. I, who already had all the answers ready, decided to continue doing it alone to save time. Time flew by. When I looked at the clock, 2 hours had passed, and I had finished everything alone. Maria? Gone. I sent the work to her and ran to my own appointment. I arrived late. I did my own project rushing, poorly done. At the end of the day, nothing from Maria. The last message was mine. Friday passed in complete silence. Saturday morning, even without confirmation, I started cleaning the house. I folded the towels twice, organized books by color, anything to keep my hands busy while checking my phone every 5 minutes. Then I decided to check social media. I opened Instagram more out of habit than hope. And there she was, smiling among friends, toasting with champagne. The caption said, "I got the job." My stomach turned. It wasn't the job that hurt. It was the champagne she was drinking at the time she should have been at my table eating the cake I had bought especially for her. I decided to scroll through our previous messages, and I noticed this had happened before, but in smaller ways. I found a conversation from months ago. She had fought with her boyfriend about a party. 2 hours of complaining about how he didn't value her. At the time, I felt so useful helping. Now, reading our messages again,
I noticed a clear pattern. "You always know what to say," she had written. 2 days after the boyfriend came back, my phone went silent. Talking to my mother later, she said something that made everything make sense. "You've had nice girl syndrome since childhood." Thinking about it, she was right. The pattern was there for years. I just had never connected the pieces.
That night changed everything for me. I couldn't sleep, thinking about all the times this had happened. My college roommate who borrowed my clothes for dates but never invited me out with her friends. The coworker who asked me to cover her shifts but never returned the favor. The friend who called crying every time she broke up but disappeared when she was happy. I realized something important. I was teaching people to use me, not value me. There's a difference. When you're useful, people need you for what you can do. When you're valuable, people want you for who you are. My whole life, I tried to make people love me by helping them. But real love doesn't need to be earned. The next week, I decided to try something different. A colleague asked me to help with her presentation again. This time, instead of automatically saying yes, I paused. I said, "I'm sorry, I have my own deadlines to meet." She looked surprised. Then she said, "Oh, okay, no problem." And that was it. No drama, no guilt trip, just acceptance. It felt strange. I was so used to being needed that I forgot I could just exist without having to prove my worth. A few weeks later, I received a message from someone asking for urgent help. I looked at the screen. I hesitated for a moment. Then I put the phone back on the table without responding and returned to work. I learned that saying no doesn't make me a bad person. It makes me a person who values herself. But changing wasn't easy. For months, I felt guilty every time I put my own needs first. I worried people would stop liking me if I wasn't always available. Some people stopped talking to me, but that was okay. The people who stayed really cared about me, not just my help. I'm still learning to set boundaries. I still sometimes feel the urge to say yes to everything, but now I pause and ask myself, am I doing this because I want to help or because I'm afraid of not being loved? The answer helps me choose. Being too nice isn't really about kindness. It's about fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of not being enough. But here's what I discovered. You are enough, just as you are, without having to prove it, without having to earn it, without having to sacrifice yourself for it.